Hello, and welcome to the Richard Wade Review Show. Today, I'm going to be doing a review of the Miyoo Mini Plus. I have been using it for about 3 or 4 days now, maybe almost a week. I've got the box here. This is the box it came in. It just kind of slid out the top, as you can see. And it did not come with this case. The case I got separately for $3 extra. I got this on AliExpress. There's a lot of different sellers for the Miyoo Mini, but for $3 extra, I couldn't pass it up. And the box, it had a little SD card reader here, which is nice. Usually they don't come with this. Had an instruction manual. Very bad instruction manual. I mean, it's better translated than some of them I've seen. Came with some alcohol wipes. It came with a really thick screen protector that's pretty nice, but I don't think I'm going to put it on there because I feel like the screen's going to be just fine, especially since I carry it in this case. So, now that we got that stuff out of the way, I got the Miyoo Mini Plus. Here's the inside of the case. It also came with this little USB-C charging cord. So, I'm going to take it out, and actually I'm going to use this little strap here to wipe the fingerprints off, because I've been playing it for a few days. And go ahead and get it turned on. There we go. I really like the face buttons on this, and I like the select and start button. The menu button's a little clicky button, but it doesn't matter. It has buttons on the back, the R2, L2, R1, L1, and it has a battery compartment where you can replace the battery if you want to. One thing I will say about this is, like, while the back buttons do feel good, I find that when I'm playing games, I accidentally press them a lot when I don't want to. So that can be a little bit annoying. So I guess we're gonna load up the game section and see. It shows each type of game it plays. It's got arcade, Nintendo. That's just a media player. Game Boy Advance, arcade, Genesis, Mega Drive, Neo Geo. It's got Neo Geo Pocket, which I don't know if it has. Yeah, it does. Hadn't checked if it had Neo Geo Pocket games in it. PC Engine, PS1, Super Nintendo, Sega Master System. Then it's got a section with just like things like 1942, 43, like little shooter games, I guess. It's got like vertical scrollers and R-type games. And then it has Wonder Swan color. And a few of the games that come on the card with it are translated into English. So, I mean, I guess it's a good place to check out some games that maybe you haven't seen before. Each of the systems on here, it did play very well. Like, for example, Castlevania, we'll load that up. You know, that's one of my favorite ones to load up for videos because we know how it looks. Takes a second to load the game up, but it'll come. I have found that this one loads games a little bit slower than some of the other systems I've used. However, the performance out of the box is just pretty flawless. So I'm not really complaining there. And as always, we'll just start a game. There. Put some A's there. Nobody cares about my name. And I'm just going to do a little bit of this real quick because I'm not trying to play through Castlevania. I'm just trying to show you that it works pretty good. See, the sound's pretty good. You hear everything. No skips, no lags.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world. It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh.
But that's enough of that. And see here, we also have, if you press the function button, that's how you exit the game, which is this middle button. But you also have the option to save state. And so, like, I might record it there, and then it'll show me a picture of that. So if I go back to load, it's going to show that one, and you have several. You have 10 slots you can do, and it's cool because it does save the picture. And let's say I'm gonna go ahead and exit the game. If you go to native menu, you can get into some of the RetroArch options. However, when you do it in the game, it's very inconsistent. Sometimes you'll get a Chinese menu, but this one is apparently got an external port, like a separate program. It's not running RetroArch. So, I'm going to exit there. The one issue I did find was that on Game Boy Advance, that just doesn't work. If I load up a Game Boy Advance game, like I was playing Kirby the other day, and I really like this game. If I load that up, and then I want to save the state, well, look at that. It worked. Wow. It was not working for me the other day. Well, interesting. I don't know what was going on, but apparently the problem has fixed itself. It might be possibly when I did an update on it. This does have Wi-Fi built in. There's no browsers or anything, but there are like options where you can go to update. Like if you go back to the main screen here. Let's see, there's settings, there's where you turn on the Wi-Fi if you want to use it. You can also use it to do multiplayer if you have another friend who has one of these. And you can also do updates with just the SD card, which is on the bottom. You can take that out and update it in the computer. I don't see the option to actually update on here, so I'm not sure why that started working now. If you go to app, there's where you can open RetroArch and change global settings if you want to. Everything's one thing I can say about this, like I really like these buttons and it's ready to go out of the box. Most of these handhelds, like I can't say that this is my favorite I've ever tried, but it is one I would probably use more often than even some of the ones I like better because it's so small. It can fit in your pocket. Like I don't know if you can tell. Let's see if I have anything here for scale, and I don't know. Here, I got a PlayStation 5 controller. So if that gives you any idea, this is how big the system is. I don't know if it was easy to, tell without something to... I mean, all I've got is these disturbing Japanese babies in the back. I got a Ivankov from One Piece here. Yeah. I got a Randy Marsh. All right. So, anyway, back to the game. If you go to the RetroArch section, you can actually load it up by core. So, we'll get a closer look at that. Like, you can choose which core you want to use. Like, there's 2 different options for doing Game Boy Advance. There's 2 different Nintendo emulators. And so some of them might work better for some games. But honestly, with this device out of the box, everything ran on the emulator it has in the game menu flawlessly, except for the issue I was having with the saving on the Game Boy games, and I'm not even having that issue anymore, so I don't know what was going on, honestly. And let's see, the last... Oh yeah, there's a favorites menu. I haven't added anything to it. And there's recently played. I opened it up to look at some things. I always open up Neo Geo Turf Masters to show you how arcade games run. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a good example of it can be set to open up the games from the point that you left off. So there's a little lag when I'm filming on the phone. I gotta remember to look at the screen of the game and not the screen of the phone. But yeah, it can open up the games and open them up right where you left off. So if I go to exit the game, and close the content. Like I said, when you press this button, you're gonna have a lot of different options. Like I opened that actually from the RetroArch menu that I was talking about earlier, where I go over here and have the different cores. So now it shows it there. But if I was to say go over to the main version, go to Neo Geo, and scroll down to Turf Masters. You hold the button, it'll scroll faster. ST Neo Turf Masters, there it is. We'll open that. Has little thumbnails of them if you hit over, which I did by accident just then, looking for it. But see, if I load it from here, it's going to have a different save state. So the only thing I would recommend is if you're playing games and you're using the save states, I'd recommend using the same version of the game every time. Uh-oh, that one's having trouble opening there. See, there's some weird things like that. I don't know. Well, it loaded that time. I don't know. Well, I guess I have to select my region. Strange. Oh, there. We'll set it up as arcade mode. And exit there and play the game. Okay, I haven't done that on this. I haven't loaded it with that yet. So you're learning right here with me. That's kind of how I enjoy doing things. I used to like open these things, unbox them, and just look at it together with you. But there were so many things that I was unsure about that I would miss in the video. But as you can see, this running flawlessly. So once you've set up each core, it should remember your choices permanently. I have had a couple of games where it froze on me when I exited, which it was not a big deal, but, you know, it's something to know. I mean, all I'd have to do, the power button's on the top, hold it for 5 seconds, it'll turn it off. Got your volume buttons here. It seems to have a pretty good speaker, and it does have stereo sound. However, it's mixed to mono. It's coming out one speaker. Sometimes when you have just one speaker, you're only getting half the sound. But this time, you're getting the full sound just coming out of one speaker. So that's not bad with this kind of device. The speaker's fairly loud. Let's see, Game Boy Advance. I think I loaded up Kirby earlier. Excuse me. I choked on something. All right, Nintendo, it's going to run that flawlessly. Game Boy is great on this device. Like, it's got Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Like, I don't know, I guess, what can we open here? Ooh, Wario Land 3. That's a good game. Always one of my favorites on the system. Probably just because it's one of the few that I actually owned. So, you know, it's not that it's the best game on the system. It's just, you know, I have a soft spot for it. Nostalgia, I guess. All right. About to choke to death. I got my hair in my mouth. Damn. All right. Let's see. Intro on this is kind of long. Oh, and as you can see, each of the systems, when you open them normally, have a little bezel around them, and it's actually pretty cool. Like, I don't know if you noticed with the Game Boy Advance games I was loading up, like when I loaded Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, it had the little bezel around here, Nintendo Game Boy Advance, looking like the actual thing did. Wonder what the Nintendo one looks like. Have to check that out. All right. I'll just open up Super Mario Brothers. You know what's great is this actually has the original speed ROM. A lot of times when they put ROM with Super Mario Brothers on one of these things, it whoop, look at me paying attention to my phone screen, not the screen. But as you can see, the colors on the screen look great. It sounds good. Lag. All right. Exit that. I guess there is no bezel on games that perfectly fill up the 4:3 aspect of the screen, which is good. It's good. I wouldn't want it to force a bezel and shrink my screen size. So I'm assuming that Super Nintendo is going to be the same. Guess we'll find out here. Maybe I'll load up Streets of Rage 2. Oh, is that the Sega? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's Sega. I went to the wrong system, but the same is true for Sega. Sega's running well. Everything on here runs well. It's something I do like about this system. It's ready to go out of the box, so you could buy this for anybody and not have to worry if they're gonna, know how to work everything. So there's Super Nintendo, Super Mario World loaded up. Oh yeah, apparently I was already playing this before, and it loaded it right back where I was at. Not bad. I only did the first level, so. Alright, I'm gonna exit that. As you can see, it's running. The sound's going good. No glitches. Nothing that's on this is too much for it. You can throw whatever at it. It doesn't have anything like a PSP, but it has some pretty good shooting stuff, like some of the cave shooters from like 2000s and stuff like that, like Dodonpachi. I mean, it's a pretty demanding arcade game, which even like a Raspberry Pi 4 struggles with playing this game. This has no issue at all. Uh-oh, it's sideways. I didn't know that. I'm putting coins in. Alright, I guess, well, that is strange. Let me, oh, see, this is one of those I was talking about. It's in Chinese. So, like, I guess if I went to the regular core and loaded it, I'm just going to reset this because I can't read Chinese. At least not very much. So, turn it back on. There we go. Booting up again. I'm going to go back and try to load that same game from the main menu. And this is one of those minor problems I was talking about, and it's just for certain systems. Like if I go to, say, Final Burn Alpha and I load up Dodonpachi, where's it at? D-O. Oh, actually, this is a game by Cave also. That's from 2003, so I'll load it up and see how it looks. I wonder if it's going to load it sideways. Alright, there we go. It seems to be running correctly. And it seems to be working okay. I was thinking that the sound maybe sounded a little weird, but now that I'm playing, I'm not getting any delays or anything. So, like, I don't know. I think it's fine, most likely. I mean, like, this is the most demanding arcade game I can think of from, like, before, say, 2005. So, I think it's going to do just fine. There are no, like, well, oh yeah, I'll go to close content. That's one thing that's annoying is if you open it from the RetroArch menu, you have to go down to close content to close the game. Man, that's understandable, I guess, but All right. But yeah, there's nothing on here that's too crazy. There's Microsoft MSX, but there's no ROMs for it. There's Atari Lynx, also no ROMs for it. You can upload your own. They have folders on the card here. There's even Microsoft DOS games, as you can see. You can load some of those up. I haven't tried any of that, but none come on it. But yeah, there's nothing like Dreamcast or Nintendo 64. The good thing about this product is it does what it knows it's good at, and that's it. It doesn't try to do anything else. Also, you can play Pico 8 on here, but it doesn't have any of the games built in. You can get them, but I'm not sure that it's an updated version, so you may have to get an old pack of them. I believe there's a way to update it so it can run a new version of Pico 8. I was watching a tutorial on how to do that for another device, and I think you can do it on this device, but I'm not sure. So, I think that's about all I've really got to say about this device. I think it's a good device. It's ready to go, and that's its biggest advantage. And it will fit in your pocket, and you don't have to worry about the analog sticks or any of that because it just doesn't have them. And what it does well. So if you take anything away from this this video, just take that. That what this does, it does well. There are devices I like better because I like to tinker with things, but out of the box, this is ready to go. And it has Onion OS already installed most times. I think there are a couple of different operating systems, but usually the Miyoo Mini Plus comes with Onion OS installed. And that's one other thing I want to mention. Don't confuse this with the original Miyoo Mini, which was a different device, which was smaller. And a lot of people really liked the Miyoo Mini. Some people who like the Miyoo Mini don't like the Miyoo Mini Plus. But I feel like they're both good devices. I've got to play with a Miyoo Mini before, but I've never owned one. So, I don't know. I like this device, and I'll probably use it pretty often. I guess I'm going to end that video right there. And I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time.